I wanted to talk a little bit about Star Trek 6.
Okay.
That you had said something interesting about how you didn't see much of Nick Meyer. Is that correct? Or
Oh,
how did that whole
we never
situation?
saw him. We
Yeah,
never saw him. He was the director. He had directed what? Two, right? The second one.
he directed Star Trek Wrath of Khan, and then this was his next one. Yeah, although he had written most of Star Trek 4, but he did not direct.
So he had a big hand in all the even ones,
Mhm.
all the good ones.
That's probably why they hired him.
No, he shot the picture, and I George asked me to be his co-supervisor on it,
Mhm.
and I don't think we ever met with him,
Really?
not once. And he didn't come to the dub. He didn't. He he didn't. He didn't. The next thing we heard from him, we got a very nice letter from him saying, "I just saw the 70 millimeter in Leicester Square, and at the premiere, and
Mhm.
it sounded wonderful. You did a great job." So, and let me tell you, to be able to do a soundtrack for a big action movie,
Yeah,
um, with nobody's input except the sound departments
that's pretty
and the picture
incredible.
editor,
And I
it's
got to
pretty
tell you,
easy. It's pretty wonderful.
I really liked that particular sound job. I remember the Bake Off reel too. Back when, remember the Bake Off?
Bake Off. That was
Oh
a
my
fun
god!
film. It was a fun Bake Off reel to build too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the film and your Bake Off reel literally started with a bang, and
Yes.
that's one of the great explosions in Star Trek films. That's you open up with a planet
Kaboo.
blowing off. Yeah. Just I'd like to
My
talk about
coffee.
some of the Star Trek films. There's sort of a set of prerequisite sounds that we're used to and have a signature and all
Well,
that.
let me
But
tell you a little story about that.
please, that's what I want.
Um, we we thought we were told by the studio that this would be the last Star Trek picture.
Sure, sure it would.
Well, and that's how we approached it. It was the last Star Trek picture. So we went back and we looked at all five. We screened all five of the pictures.
Mhm.
Uh, some of them, most of them in the little Paramount Theater.
Sure.
So we heard them in their full, the best of the best, and we said, so this is the last one. What we should do is go back and take the best elements out of the five first movies of sound. And so so all the way through that film, there are references
Yeah.
to the other films.
Having worked with the guys at Weddington, my ears were tuned to hearing.
We went back and we pulled the units. That was the great thing about the studio.
I could tell.
We pulled some of the units of the earlier films because it wasn't because we were stealing this stuff.
No.
We were trying to put it in as
the appropriate moments
to the wonderful films before. In fact, if you watch that picture, the squeegee door for the bridge from the TV show returns.
Yes.
For that one, which hadn't been in the features.
They decided. I remember the conversations they had. They said it didn't feel right in the features for some reason, but it worked with you guys. It was really good. It's how it's cut too, because it's too short for some of those closes. You have to
it's what you do with it, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about. It's what you do with it.
Yeah.
And but we were determined to make it this grand, wonderful look back at the other five films. So it was like we were wrapping up the entire series.
No,
it was an experience I will never forget, because when we were working, rarely in my life have I ever sat there working on a film going, this is going to be in the Bake Off reel.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that never happens. I've spent 35 years and I've never known that this is going to be in the Bake Off reel. But that one, from the very beginning, this will be in the Bake Off reel. Yeah. Because we were, it wasn't that we were trying to get into the Bake Off reel, but we were putting all the kinds of stuff in it that sound editors love.
Yeah, sure.
We were choosing stuff that we loved because and it was the same stuff that other sound editors had loved.
Oh yeah, and it had come at a point where so many of the sound supervisors in town had worked on a Star Trek film or more than, like Mark Mangini did a couple,
Yep.
we'd all worked on them. And as you said, I could hear little, like the Federation static that Mark made for Star Trek 4 had a big part in your film. There are all kinds of little pieces I could hear exactly as you described. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we
what you're
hope
saying.
we hope everyone loved the fact that we used their bits and pieces, because I think I mean, we were trying to pay. I mean, we were going out of our way to try to pay tribute to all those who'd come
Well,
before us.
that's great, because I
We
remember.
hope people appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, Mark Mangini even showed me he had gotten some letters from fans who said that the consistency of the film, the sound from the films keeps changing from show to show. And so he really tried to, honor some of the classic sounds too. But no, but what you did was a great
No,
yeah.
no, it was a highlight of my one of the highlights of my career, without a
That's
doubt.
excellent. That's excellent.